What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Everything Is Podcast Friday edition, where we just sit back, relax, and you enjoy the show. I'm your host Chidi Bang with my tag team partner Chris the Most High, John Roll. I told you over there eating his animal crackers. We
Bro,
are
munchies, boy.
munchies like a motherfucker. We are here to give you everything, the podcast on everything that matters. We are the culture. We are the zeitgeist. Please hit that like button. Please hit the follow button if you are on Twitch, and definitely hit the bell icon if you really fuck with us and support it. We really would appreciate that. And just subscribe. Yeah, subscribe. We really would appreciate. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the month, and we'll see if we can hit that goal. But you could help us. You could be the one to help us get to 100 subscribers. That could be, that I want you. Call me Uncle Sam right now. But yeah, man, we're just gonna chill tonight. We got a couple of topics that we we're not gonna go too crazy. We're just gonna chat like brothers and give our honest takes on the craziness going on in the world today. What you feel? How you feeling, brother?
I'm doing good, man. As you were stating, the 100 subscribers, man. We got something special for y'all on our 100 subscribers. We got an email list that we're going to be creating. You know what I'm saying? Where we're going to have our weekly newsletter. Y'all get some behind the scenes. Honestly, the stuff that we don't give y'all on the show. You know, the takes that we have before the show, the takes that we have after the show. We're gonna combine those and make a little montage for our subscribers that are a part of this email list. So
For sure.
once we reach to 100, we're gonna try to get that out to everybody. Make sure y'all stay tapped in with that.
Yeah, a little newsletter. If you enjoy what we do, I know we talk about a lot of different topics, but if you can get that all every week, why wouldn't you fuck with it? Why wouldn't you like that? So we'll set up that email list when we get to 100 subscribers, and y'all can get a little newsletter in the mail uh, with our topics and what's going on in the world. Everything that matters. But yeah, man.
And
I
more
kind of
exclusively, the hot takes that don't make the air. I think that will be. I think getting the jokes that be big. Because sometimes, if y'all only knew, if I asked this guy, we off YouTube.
we live? Nah, we're not live yet. But if you see this
This
guy on,
motherfucker.
if you think he's unhinged on the show, imagine how unhinged he is off air. So if you want a little dose of that, we might send something up for you to access that. But that might be Patreon content, not newsletter content. But yeah, yeah, So yeah, we might put a link in there for like a little peek. But we gotta shift that over to the PT, the Patreon. The
You
Patronies.
right. You right. You right. We might have to give y'all the y'all might get the intro that people don't get on the free tier. So yeah, we layering this out.
For
Shout out
sure.
to Claude for helping us out layer things. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Claude, everybody's in that motherfucker. Shit.
On me, everybody in that motherfucking boy. So so to the point of what we talking about. Last night, after last night's show, we wrapped up. And of course, I'm always on my phone, bro. I'm on my phone. And I came across the tweet and I said, brother, I know you lying, nigga. I know you motherfucking lying. So I don't know if you got the video queued up. I'll filibuster. But
I
I
don't got a
came
video
across.
on what you came across, but I got video on something that happened a couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll share my screen of the tweet that I came across,
Let me see if I can
and
find it.
I'll see. Okay, so there's the tweet. I found the tweet here, and so as I filibuster, as you pull up, Republican Representative Anna Paulina Luna has been caught using AI to write legislation after the phrase, and I quote, Claude responded, was accidentally left in her bill's text. Her excuse was she was only using it to spell check the National Defense Bill. Bitch, I know you lying. I know you lying.
Spell check. Oh, you didn't see no red lines, squigglies, and you can right click. Nah, I don't know if I trust that.
I don't know if I trust that at all. So let me see if I can open up this source here and I'll see if I can share this
I
tab.
got a video too, by the way. So you want me to show that first?
Okay. You got the video or is this
I got
screen showing?
I got a video.
I got a video. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know what? Fuck this video.
So this was Representative, as you say, Paulina Luna using Anthropic. At least he used Anthropic. Shout out to Claude. Now, this also is something that is funny because I did my little research on here. The irony of them using Anthropic is a direct um, uh, opposition of damn near the edict that they handed out. Remember when Claude withdrew themselves from,
Actually,
or
I
they
was just
got
gonna show you
released?
the video that I was telling you. The video
Okay.
that I got is Trump actually said they shouldn't be using law. He they withdrew themselves. You got listen. Let me just play that real quick. I'll
Go
play
ahead, play the video. Go ahead. If you got that video with the sound, then go ahead and play
with the
that one.
sound. Yeah, with the sound.
Yeah.
The AI company Anthropic, the company which makes the chatbot Claude, faces a 5 p.m. deadline to agree with the Pentagon's terms for using their technology. But Anthropic's CEO has drawn a hard line, saying he cannot in good conscience give in to the Pentagon's demand. He does not comply. They run the risk of damaging their business. So for more on this, I want to bring in our senior White House correspondent, Selena Wang, who's been tracking this story for us. And Selena, as this is playing out, we're less than an hour out from this 5 p.m. deadline. The president is now weighing in on the situation.
Well, Alex, this may be the answer ahead of the deadline. Now, President Trump, he is announcing, and this is just moments ago on his Truth Social account, so I'm going to read it to you. He says, quote, "I'm directing every federal agency in the United States government to immediately cease all use of Anthropic's technology. We don't need it, we don't want it, and will not do business with them again. There will be a 6-month phase-out period for agencies like the Department of War who are using Anthropic's products at various levels." He goes on to bash Anthropic, calling it a left-wing nut job company, calling it a, quote, radical left AI company who have no idea what the real world is all about. So this is really this fight that has been going on for weeks now that I've been reporting on, really coming to a head. Earlier, the Pentagon had issued an ultimatum to Anthropic, essentially saying, agree to our terms for how to use our artificial intelligence, or we're going to terminate the contract and deem you a supply chain risk, essentially blacklisting them from doing work with the government. So we are hearing from the president here clearly this is his decision that there will now be no partnership with Anthropic, with the military, or any federal agency.
Well, and that label as being a supply chain risk is really significant. But can we back up for a second? Can you walk us through how we got here over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge deal. I mean, essentially, this fight is about who's going to control the future of artificial intelligence use in the government and specifically in the military. Is it the company that is creating this technology, or is it the government that's using it? And so this all transpired over these two critical red lines that Anthropic has drawn. Anthropic tells me that they have made it very clear that there are two use cases where they are against their AI being used. Number one is for mass domestic surveillance, and the second one is fully autonomous weapons. Sounds reasonable. You want a human making the final targeting decision on the battlefield, not artificial intelligence. Anthropic tells me that the Pentagon has refused to sign off on language that would commit them to not using AI for those use cases. The Pentagon has argued that they should have discretion to be able to use this technology in all lawful cases.
Well, and certainly they're putting the pressure on Anthropic. But the flip side of this is that, if Anthropic is no longer a Pentagon partner, it's going to be hard to replace them on their end as well.
It will be hard to replace them because, first of all, Anthropic is the first one to be used within the classified systems of the Pentagon, and it's also the most deeply embedded. It is praised as being the most sophisticated, the most advanced. It's not going to be easy to onboard another company, not to mention OpenAI, the key rival. They've already confirmed to me that they've got the same red lines as Anthropic does around mass domestic surveillance and the use for these fully autonomous weapons. So really unclear where all of this goes from here.
Yeah, it's a rare point of synergy between Sam Altman and
exactly.
and
Two
Anthropic
big
earlier
rival companies. They agree on
Certainly.
this specific issue.
Yeah. Selena Wang for us. Thank you.
You're muted, but now you're not.
There you have it. You know, these billionaire tech companies don't mind being used for the military. They do not mind being used by the military, but they got red line. They got some morals. You are not about to have full autonomy with my shit and my name on it. They gonna have me out here getting sued like goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, nigga, get Apple and Google out this suit, nigga. I am suing you, Meta. You know what I mean? Like, and this would be the buffer of, like, because a lot of people will probably look at Anthropic or Open AI to sue them because they gave them the full autonomy. Like, you had a board. You could have passed that through. Like, you know. So
It reminds me of like Tony Stark and the government, and like the Sokovia Accords and all that stuff in Marvel, where it's like when you have something so powerful and the government wants to obviously usurp the power of it because they want to control it for their own. But I don't think these red lines are crazy. Trump says they can't use Anthropic because they're a crazy left right wing because you don't want a surveillance and because they don't want to agree to surveillance and because they don't want to agree to like that you make the AI decide who to kill. Like that's not crazy. Like it's like I'm sick of this world's view of like what they deem as like radical and left wing and like that's just human, man. Like, hey man, we shouldn't have AI surveillance being used for surveillance or making a decision to kill civilians or kill anybody, because it might make a mistake. I've had Claude make spell check errors. I've had Claude completely answer a question I did not ask it. You know, yeah, you can't put complete trust in a computer to make a decision on somebody's life. But it seems like they didn't fucking listen because Paulina Luna is out here using it to drum up documentation for defense, for defense, yeah, the defense, bills and shit. So that's wild to me.
yeah. So essentially, what happened was she was submitting the draft for the defense bill, and the specific text in question read, identical to HR 100, 118th Congress. Then it has a timestamp of 11:25 a.m. with Claude responded, and Claude responded requires the Secretary of Defense to designate Department of Defense activities, support, and operations at the Southwest land border as a named operation with. So the amendment actually was about military operations at the southern border. And I think the biggest thing that makes this a scandal is the cover up, right? We've always heard that the lie is not what gets you; it's the cover up, right? So the first response, tweeting that our staff used AI to correct legislation, she deleted that. She sent a follow-up tweet saying, yeah, my staff used AI to spell check and grammar check the amendment summary, not the actual amendment text itself. Not a shocker. Most staff use it. I have told them to make sure they are double checking and more thorough. What dork planted this story? That's a quote. Okay. Then she followed up and said, BTW, love Claude, but Grok is way more savage.
Boo. This is gay.
So
Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Not that. See, that's the thing. What I mean is, what she's saying is ridiculous.
niggas think it'll be me all the time.
Listen, we can't say it that way anymore. That's like early 2000s talk. I need to rein that in. I apologize. But this is lame. This is lame, bro. Like, honestly, like everything doesn't gotta be politicized. Grok, oh my God, it's way more sad. So basically, you are using it, even though were told not to by the government. She is using it. So by Trump and all. They said, oh, we're not using Anthropic. All federal buildings should never use Anthropic and Claude. But you're using it anyway. Now you're saying Grok is savage. Who is this chick, and why is she a representative handling defense contracting? And the bills. Because you sound like an Instagram chick. Oh my God, it's so savage. Like that's not how I want my people in government to talk about anything, much less, a mistake that you made and now tried to cover up, and now we're being exposed on it. And then you said some dork released it. You sound guilty as a hell, as a motherfucker. Like, you sound guilty as hell.
I think the biggest thing of why this is a big deal is this is one of the most significant pieces of legislation Congress passes each year. So this authorizes hundreds of billions in military spending and setting defense policies priorities. So like this is not just some fly by night, oh, she put something in a congressional document. No, this is one of the biggest congressional documents that gets passed every year. So this is not just a oopsie daisy, you know. So as the amendment related to the border security operations, it was it's a politically charged topic by any means, right? Because we've always talked about securing the borders and we all this rhetoric, but to know that this will come from the vehicle of AI, when it's not really only just as embarrassing that it is. It's just really um, and I asked Claude, I asked Claude, how unethical is this? And um, let me get their
Sounds like,
response.
nah, that's good.
No,
She
I asked.
cool. She
I said, is there a real ethical issue with her using AI to write a bill
of
like
course
this?
there
And
is.
is
Yeah.
there a bigger issue of the leader of the military having the edict out to boycott Anthropic as they seem to be sort of on the good side? So I asked a two-part question. And they answered and said these are genuinely meaty ethical debates. They said, issue one, is there a real ethical problem with Luna using AI to write legislation? They said this is more nuanced than the outrage suggests. There's legitimate concerns on both sides. The case that it is a problem is the core issue isn't really AI, it's accountability and transparency, which I also do believe. Like, I'm not just necessarily like trying to harp on her for using AI as we use AI, but again, it is the accountability and the transparency of you using AI, and you could come up with a better lie than I use it for spell check.
Spell check.
Like honestly, like
You could have dropped that into Google Docs.
bro, you could have put that in Grammarly, my nigga. Like, what you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
what we doing? Like, you can tell you ain't been in school in a minute, bitch, nigga. Because
Sounds like
when I get an AI paper, I do gotta put it through fucking Grammarly, and I gotta put it through AI Detect, and then I
she
go and I gotta.
she
They don't
she
know.
they don't know exactly. She sounds like me when I got caught um copy and pasting Spark Notes for a whole entire essay I did in high school. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, I just did it for spell check. We did this all on my own, and dude, they sniffed me out in the freaking heartbeat, bro. Like we can put that through. Honestly, we can check to see if it was AI. We can put that through and check and see if it was AI constructed. And I think, like you said, the major part is the transparency of it all. And AI being used for certain things, it depends on what it is that you're being used for. Now, if it's dead ass used for spell check, cool. But if you're using it to craft this and it's not coming from a
because that's exactly what they said. It's a competence. It's a competence question.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a competence because the job of a legislator is not to just produce text; it's to understand what they're writing. So as you
Thank
said,
you. And have you seen this chick?
I mean, I'm not about to go off the looks, brother. We said we're in
I'm trying
2020.
not to go off the looks, but
Okay.
the looks compared with how she said the thing was savage and what dork released this, and that oh, Rock is more savage, and I see how she looks, and then you say competence, and she seems like she looks and sounds like an Instagram chick, and I'm like, yo, if you look like a horse, you sound like a horse, you're probably a horse, but I'm not gonna say she's not competent, but I will
But
say this.
what is the
I will
Instagram
say
chick
this.
though?
I will say this. Majority of this administration is not competent, and they got the job. We talked about RK last week and how he talks about kids with autism, and now I talk about hear her and how she talks about AI and how you're using Claude, but you feel the need to throw in Grok because obviously Elon connection to Trump and everything like that. It's the fakeness of it all that rubs me the wrong way. And then when I look at her, she looks fake. I'm just gonna say she looked fake, but that's all I'm gonna say. It's just everything about this chick is phony to me. It looks phony to me, and how she comes off sounds phony. But yeah, that's me. You don't gotta judge. I will.
Well, I mean, do you have a picture or a video or something of what she looks like so we can show the audience as you ask me like what she looked like and you're like she looks a certain type of way?
Everything
Because
is performative, man. I'll show you what it is, man. Let me see if this is the right share. This is her on the Joe Button. I mean, the Joe Rogan podcast. This is
I'm about to
her.
say this bitch is on a Joe
This is
Budden podcast.
nah. This is her with her gun. This is her with Charlie Kirk. There are only two genders. Like, she got to have the gun. She have to do the whole two genders thing. This is her IG. You got to put on the conservative little dress and shit. Oh, I'm Christian type shit. Then she's doing her hot girl summer shit over here. You know, this is who is controlling the legislation. Um, and yeah, this is her with Elon. She's hitting all the Republican conservative bases on her Instagram. You know, so I can do some more research on her if you want me to actually dig deep in where the
No,
hell did
because
she come from?
no, because I mean when you say she's an when you say she gives off an Instagram model, but she cleaned up herself, is she Sophie knows better? Is she cleaned herself up? Because I want to know what because it does
It's
give
Friday,
a
bro.
vibe. Maybe that. What'd you say?
Said it's Friday, bro. No, like I'm gonna tell you how I feel. Like I'm not even like holding back tonight. Like I would be more. I honestly like if we talked about this yesterday, I probably would be more PC, politically correct. But nah, shit. I don't. I don't. All right. So she graduated University of West Florida with a bachelor in science degree in biology. Good for her. She served in the military, U.S. Air Force at age of 19. Right. Now she's a U.S. representative for Florida's 13th congressional district, elected in 2023. All right. Um. So how old is she?
She gotta be mid 30s,
She's 37.
possibly. Okay. She my age. All right.
Mm. Yeah.
Respect.
She. Yeah.
I mean, her making her making a political leap from like I don't know how she began, but to become a representative for for a district. I mean that I don't know what she ran on. I don't know if she ran off of previous Instagram photos that we cannot see, but when you was like, "Have you seen this chick? She look like an Instagram model." I'm like, "Nah, nigga, let me see what she look like there." You know what I'm saying? But she look cleaned up now.
Oh
She wearing
yeah.
a tie?
And she wearing a tie sometimes. I just think that she seems performative. And that's what I'm getting from her. I'm getting like I'm not getting. And here's the thing: she might be a good person, but there's certain like deadpan things that they do in the Trump administration to almost clean up what they're saying because they're trying. It's almost like when we talk about fascism, right? Fascism and how people are controlled in fascism and how you might gotta please the leader. When I see shit like that, and mind you, she was one of the people that we gave props to a couple days ago because of the whole Epstein thing, right? We were talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene and people who have come out and tried to do bipartisan shit. However, the constant there's I here's the thing. These politicians are, I feel like, just transparent, bro. I see right through it. Like, if you have a controversy because you're using Claude and feel the need to shoehorn in Grok being savage, and you feel that, that to me is intentional to please somebody that you might have pissed off by using Claude in the first place. And clearly you are using Claude because it's effective and you want to, and because that's what you really used. I just want people to stand on who the fuck they are, and I know I'm asking too much, but that's all.
Well, I mean, I think it's hard for us to really put into perspective. I guess I don't know how performative I would be in a situation where I'm a representative, right? Because again, if I'm just talking about me personally, if I were to ever have went that route, I would probably have to hide a lot of my, uh, you know, intricacies. I guess especially we spoken, of course, how I talk, how I cuss, right? Like the presentation would be cleaned up, but as soon as I motherfucker loosen up that tie and I come kick it with y'all, I'm like, boy, these motherfuckers are stupid in the motherfucker while I'm rolling up a joint, right? Like I would have to, I do believe, be somewhat performative. Although there are people who run on I'm a registered, legalized marijuana smoker, and I'm like there are people that run off of that. So, I know that there would have to be a level of possible performing, and I just
Yeah.
don't want to, you know what I mean? A little bit of
No,
a,
no, you're right, bro. And I want to be honest with you. I'm not like you are right 100%. I I'm wrong, but I don't care. I have a gut feeling with this shit, bro, and that's what it is. And I'm okay with that. That's all. That's all. And I can't explain it. I'm fine with it. Cool. But but yeah, looking into her record, so apparently, she blamed a Palestinian student for a mass shooting that the student had nothing to do with. She hosted a
huh?
Russian. She blamed a Palestinian student for a mass shooting that they had nothing to do with. She
That's
hosted
that's pretty
she
pretty
ho-
gnarly.
she hosted Russian lawmakers on Capitol tour during the Ukraine war. She introduced a bill to put Trump's face on Mount Rushmore. She wrote a children's book claiming
That's the
bi-
worst thing I done heard. I ain't gonna hold you. All that other shit. To put the nigga face up there, nigga, you tripping.
Listen, she wrote a children's book claiming that Biden stole the 2020 election. A
Ah!
children's book. Listen, she threatened sanctions against the United Kingdom. Oh shit. So this is this is just somebody, man.
I mean, at 37, yeah, you could be dumb. You could be dumb around that age. You know what I mean? Like you can be dumb, or you can be jock riding. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of jock riding. So shout out to her. She made a path for herself. Did you lose me?
No, I did not lose you. I heard you.
Oh, okay.
I just said I have no words. I have no words, man. Shout out to her. She figured something out.
Well, I do have some better news for us. If you would like to make a pivot, and I can just see if I can pull this up real quick. I believe I'm sharing my screen at this moment.
Okay.
Everything's moving a little slow.
Hey.
All right. So what we have right here is 29 primary wins, all blues. And if you can read this here, it says 100% AIPAC free. Okay. We have people that are out here getting to it, being productive, not taking the money. And a tweet says, the AIPAC era over. I'm not too sure about that. We got some more work to do.
We definitely got more work to do.
We got more work to do, but I don't want to butcher none of these names, but we got Rob Reese. Rehearse? Nigga, how you say your name? Why you got a Y right there?
Okay,
Anyway,
I got you. Rob Ryers.
Is that Ryers?
Ryers, yeah, Ryers. So why?
Ryers with the SE. I know, but I mean, you know,
I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't heard of
I don't know. I haven't,
Arizona,
you know,
3rd District. You got My Lang. My Vang, excuse me. My Vang.
Is it My Vang or is it, yeah, you know,
or
you're
May
right.
Vang? I think it's My Vang.
Okay.
Latifah Simmons, California 12th District.
We fuck with you, Latifah.
Rokana, shout out to Rokana doing his thing. California 17th
Come on,
District.
Bro.
Randy Villegas, California 22. Tessa Lynn Hodge, California 23. Angela Duenas, California 29. Angela Gonzalez Torres, California 34. Delia Ramirez, I was watching a video with her today talking about livable wages. They're trying to propose a federal livable wage, $25 an hour. Shout out to her.
I saw that too. Shout out to her.
Paula Nolly, Illinois, 16. Drew Cox, Indiana, District 4. Andre Carson, Indiana, District 7. Charles Booker, Kentucky, Senator. Graham Flatner, Minnesota Senator. He won the primary? Oh, shit.
Is that Minnesota or is that Maine?
Maine. Sorry, my bad. Maine. That's Maine. Graham Flatner, Maine Senator. He's in the race. We'll see if he wins over the Republican out there because it is purple. Purple state. Ashley Bell, North Carolina 10. Anna Leah.
Liliana, it's been too long since you left me.
Anna Mejia, New Jersey 11. Adam Hamawi, New Jersey 12. Claire Valdez.
Y'all got some names on y'all.
Not everybody can just be Chris McLean, all right?
I gotta play, no, nigga. I gotta play Webby, nigga. It's some Charlotte McGays on here.
Claire Valdez, New York 7.
Come on.
Daria Lisa, Avila, Chevrolet.
Come on. She just won it.
Just won it. New York 13. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, New York 14. Gerard Christian, Ohio, District 12. Jeff Merkley, Oregon, Senator. Chris Rye, Pennsylvania, District 3. I want him to win I hope he wins because he had going against a Republican out there in Pennsylvania this primary. Summer Lee, Pennsylvania 12.
Come on.
Justin Wagner, Pennsylvania 16. Kyle Rabel, Texas. District 17.
Great
Tanya
state of
Lloyd,
Texas.
Texas, District 17. Frederick Haynes, third, Texas, District 30. Third, Texas, District 30. And Greg Kazar, Texas, District 37, man, 29 and counting. Let's keep going. Let's keep fucking going. Let's get it.
Now, I did have like I said, we also got to take the good with the bad. Right before we had our post, right before we came on the show, we had our pregame, and to be honest, we didn't hit a lot of the benchmarks that we wanted to do. We had aspirations for ourselves. We had some goals for ourselves, and at the end of the day, we talked and it was like, but we came up with this, and we got a game plan with this, and I think that's the same thing. It's the same elk, right? We have the housing bill that's not really the best, right? But it's one of the things that are, and I don't want to just take anything that's bipartisan, to be fair, but for them both to agree that this is something that will help establish people to just get in somewhere. I know maybe once we change the bills, some executive orders get changed, whatever the case may be, we can switch it back to these homeowners can be homeowners.
The
But
key
just get
is
these
the
people
Supreme Court,
housed,
man.
though.
The Supreme Court is where the
Yes.
fight long term is to the Supreme Court. We gotta get term limits in there because nothing matters until that changes. They can just reverse anything. The Supreme Court. So, but yeah, you're right. We like to see bipartisanship. We like to see people who are not taking AIPAC money. But I do want to pivot the conversation, not a lot, but a little bit to, guys, there's more PACs out there. Like, we all are focused on AIPAC. I think that's something that's a little bit kind of a blind spot.
Okay.
Is that we all are focused on AIPAC, but they can take money from other places that are compromising. And I would like to always keep that in mind. Because there's people who are, taking money from the pharmaceutical industry, from the, some corporations, from the military industrial complex, the NRA, so I just always keep that in mind when you think about the AIPAC thing. Right now, I get it, because people on the right and on the left, conservative and liberal, all of us don't want our tax dollars being sent to another foreign country. I think that's why it unifies this country and why it's such a big topic. And our money being used to bomb children in Palestine is outrageous. Like, that's the bare minimum. Hey, man, I worked so hard. I'm paying my taxes, and now you're using it for a different country and for them to get weapons so they can do harm to children in Palestine. I think that's like a bare minimum for your constituents, your citizens, to say, hey, government, can you not do that? We don't want that anymore. We don't agree with what you're doing here. And I think that what gets lost in in the conversation, not get lost, but what happens with people
it's underrepresented. It's underrepresented.
No, not even. Actually, before we get to underrepresented, what the conversation is about is that people then say, when we say we don't want AIPAC money, people turn it into an anti-Semitic conversation, and it's not about being anti-Semitic, and it's really about, hey, our tax dollars are going to a different country, but that's AIPAC. What other countries are we doing this with? And I want you to ask yourself that question too. I think that's what's underrepresented. I think that's also missing in the conversation, is that there's other, and I think that's why people say it's anti-Semitic, because no one's talking about other PACs. Let me look it up. What other PACs pay money to candidates, to congressional candidates, that are influencing how our government spends money globally? All right, because there are other PACs.
There are other PACs. I didn't ask that specific question, but I did ask for what other PACs. And to your point, super PACs, where they cannot donate directly to federal candidates or political parties. Instead, they use their funds for independent political activity, like running their own broadcasts or digital ads, right? So we have super PACs We have hybrid PACs. They maintain two separate bank accounts. One functions like a traditional PAC, and then the other acts as a super PAC. They can contribute directly to candidates using their first account while also accepting unlimited corporate and union funds into the second account to run independent ads. Um, and you have, your leadership packs, established financing controlled by a candidate or federal office holder. Um, you have those. Then you have your dark money groups, your 501(c)s, your nonprofits, tax exempt organizations such as social welfare groups or trade organizations that can engage in political activity. They are highly influential because they can accept unlimited contributions and are not required to publicly disclose their donors. So the example that they use for this is One Nation, which is a Republican linked a group. Like you said, there are several packs that several packs that you have to be aware of, but the individual nature of those packs is the due diligence on us to see which ones are harmful towards the governance of the American people.
So it says this is a much bigger picture than most people realize. And here's a full breakdown organized by country of what they're actually getting in return for money spent. The scale of profit. So since 2016, foreign government agents have reported spending more than 4.1 billion on attempts to influence U.S. policy and public opinion under the Foreign Agents Registration Act alone. That is just what's reported. And in 2024, Israel and Qatar were actually outspent by Japan, Saudi Arabia, China, and South Korea.
You see the result. You see the
With
United Arab Emirates doing a lot of business.
with
You see
Japan,
that.
yeah, exactly. With Japan leading all foreign spenders at 48.5 million. So 48.5 million in 2024. The single highest, biggest foreign spender was Japan. The largest slice of Japan's spending came through Japan's External Trade Organization, a government-linked nonprofit that works to strengthen commercial relations between Tokyo and the rest of the world, with Japan companies increasing their lobbying expenditure 8% year over year, specifically in automobile, electronics, chemical, steel, and communication industries. What Japan gets is favorable trade policies, U.S. military defense commitments under the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty, and protection of Japanese auto and technology industries from American tariffs. The U.S. has over 50,000 troops stationed in Japan. Japan's lobbying directly shapes whether those troops stay, what defense technology gets sold, and what trade concessions get made. So that's just Japan right there. Then we move on to another one of our top foreign spenders is Saudi Arabia, as you were saying. So
Yep.
Saudi Arabia's lobbying apparatus in Washington is one of the most sophisticated in the world. It
Yep.
operates through multiple channels. Direct lobbying firms like Hogan Lovells and BGR Group, the U.S. Saudi Arabia Business Council, and through massive investments in American companies that then become corporate PAC donors. What Saudi Arabia gets is the United States has continued those sales even after the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. Saudi Arabia has also been able to influence U.S. energy policy through OPEC decisions that affect American gas prices with minimal congressional pushback. Saudi Arabia, man, is affecting your gas prices. Do you care about that too, as much as AIPAC? Because if you're looking at, hey, listen, man, we got BGR Group, the U.S. Saudi Arabian Business Council, Hogan Lovells, look into those packs, like, because that's also affecting you and how we interact with Saudi Arabia. So then we have the UEA and Qatar, the Gulf State Lobby and Arms Race. United Arab Emirates and Qatar. These two countries have been lobbying war against each other inside Washington for years. Both Israel and Qatar have been accused of flouting U.S. law by employing under the table foreign influence efforts. And there is evidence both nations have engaged in unregistered foreign influence campaigns. Qatar specifically has pumped hundreds of millions of dollars into American universities, Georgetown, Northwestern, Carnegie Mellon, Cornell, and all have Qatar campuses funded in part by Qatar money. That is not a PAC donation, but it absolutely shapes how America's academics and future policymakers think about Qatar. What Qatar gets is Al Udeid Air Base, the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East, sits on Qatar soil, giving Qatar enormous leverage in any U.S. military planning for the entire region. The UAE gets advanced weapon sales that has been lobbying heavily for F-35 fighter jets. And we got Taiwan, we got India, we got Turkey, we got Armenian and Greek lobbies, we got Cuba, dark money layers. Shit, let me get into the dark money. It's possible for foreign actors to funnel money into PACs through shell corporations. PACs are only required to list a company as a donor, but with no register of who owns or funds the company. That trail ends there, and the true source of the funds is effectively obscured. The FEC has been slow to investigate violations of these rules, meaning it's entirely possible for a foreign entity to illegally engage in election spending with no repercussions. The U.S., with partial foreign ownership, are not restricted at all in their spending to influence elections. Corporations like Uber have major foreign investors, including the Saudi government, which made Uber one of the largest examples of a foreign government having indirect political influence through a company that Americans don't think of as foreign at all. So I see you over there with this freaking tinfoil dog. You're saying you got a week, bro. Hold it off for a week.
Hey, listen, Conspiracy Corner be exclusive on Fridays. And to be honest, this is the shit that niggas have been saying all along.
Yeah.
There is damn near, can we say the word cabal? Right? There is an elite. There is a
When I think of
world.
Cabal, I think of Cabal from Mortal Kombat. And what is Cabal? What is his weapon of choice? Remember what it was?
What was his weapon of choice?
It's a hooks.
Uh,
So they got their hooks in America. That's how I look at this. All these countries got their little piece of hooks, and they're pulling us whatever direction because we have a lot of influence in our foreign policy. Now, you know, the so as much as I want to be happy about the whole, you got to get a official like real deal.
I gotta get it. I'm just saying, like that.
Yeah.
We wasn't even supposed to be doing this. I just said, let me get this motherfucking tip for y'all, nigga, because this shit sound like a conspiracy.
It does, but it's not. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a theory. There you go. It is a conspiracy. It's not a theory. But I think that what we have to what I want people to understand.
I like that. That's a differentiation. We're gonna do conspiracies, and we're gonna do conspiracy theories.
So this is a conspiracy for show. And here's the thing about the AIPAC conversation that I want people to understand. I think it's good. We got 29 people, and that's like we got a long way to go with AIPAC. We're not taking money from them, but this is where the anti-Semitism conversation comes in because there's a lot of countries that give money to candidates, and that's why they have that linchpin on people. Oh, you're anti-Semitic because you're against AIPAC. It's not just that. So it's because we are actively in the zeitgeist of knowing what our money is doing, and we're not happy with it. But in this conversation, the AIPAC conversation dominating the discourse is very real. But it's also a distraction from the fact that this is an entire system. It says, like I said here, Japan spends more than Israel on lobbying. Saudi Arabia has shaped U.S. foreign policy for 50 years through a combination of oil, weapon sales, and lobbying money. Qatar funds American universities while maintaining a U.S. military base. The United States does not have a foreign policy. It has an auction essentially. It's just not like we don't really have a foreign policy. We have an auction, and the countries that understand how to buy influence in Washington shape what American taxpayer money does around the world. Whether the weapons to Israel, military presence in Japan, continued embargo of Cuba, or weapon sales to Saudi Arabia that ended up being used in Yemen, all of it runs through the same machine. AIPAC just
Yeah.
happens to be the one people are allowed to name out loud right now.
And to give them fairness, like you say, this is not to pick on you, because as Chidi just read off eloquently, we're not also just funding one genocide, right? So for us to be so concerned about us having Netanyahu involved in what he's doing again, as the United Nations finally, after 3 years, declare that what has been happening over in Gaza is a genocide, right? So not to put that as a footnote, because that was actually one of the topics that we brought up that we brought up last night, that we were going to bring up today, and just say like, hey, the humanity that it takes, or the lack thereof that it takes, to be so rage filled with hatred that we're going to not only financially cripple you, but we're going to physically decimate where it is that you call home, right? Like, that is an absolute, uh, if we're talking about creating diplomacy and having people live under the rights of America, what is it? The right of life, liberty, and a pursuit of
Pursuit of
happiness.
happiness.
There's no pursuit of happiness if I am living in rubble and pulling out loved ones
Oh my
from
God, bro.
underneath it. Like, there's no pursuit of happiness. It actually is a pursuit of forever hatred. I will forever hate you. There will be nothing that you do. And so what it seems like is you're trying to beat somebody into submission till they go ahead and then bow down to you. Right? And to this point, they like, nigga, you done burnt everything else down. You gotta take me with it. Like, I'm not
Exactly.
bowing, like, you know what I mean? So you gotta forever beef with these niggas. And you got some niggas, in street terms, if you are in the car with a nigga that I got a problem with, I got a problem with you too. So nigga, we need to be careful in how many people that we assist in the fucking detriment of a country, or of an entire fucking
Exactly.
civilization, because
Um,
niggas will turn that arrow right back on us.
Absolutely. Like I always say, the United States of America is a corporation, it's not a country. And this here proves it. People are buying our support and our influence, And I just want to give a second for Yemen, because Yemen honestly is going through one of the most worst atrocities right now. Here's what it says on Yemen. Yemen remains one of the world's worst humanitarian crises, with an estimated 19.5 million people needing humanitarian assistance in
Holy
2025.
shit.
1.3 million more than in 2024, as the conflict enters its 11th year. Between May and September 2025, Israel carried out strikes on major infrastructure in northern Yemen. An average of one child was killed or injured every single day during the year, according to Save the Children, by most by airstrikes. More than
Mm.
twice the number of children were killed in 2025 compared to 2024. On April 17th, U.S. forces attacked Ras Isa Port in Hodeidah and killed 84 civilians and injured over 150 in what Human Rights Watch called an apparent war crime. 10 days later, on April 28th, U.S. forces struck a migrant detention center in Sada, killing over 68 civilians and injuring dozens more. In total, U.S. airstrikes between March 15th and May 6th killed at least 238 civilians and injured at least 467, according to the Yemen Data Project. Yemen continued to suffer one of the world's worst severe cholera emergencies, with more than 332,000 suspected cases and 1,073 associated deaths between March 24 and August 2025. Oh, shit. This is sad. This is where it connects directly to what we're discussing. The Saudi led coalition that has been bombing Yemen since 2015 has been doing so with American weapons, American intelligence, and American logistics support. That support continues through the Obama administration, Trump's first term, Biden administration, and Trump's second term. The lobbying apparatus that we were discussing, Saudi Arabia's billions in lobbying spending, the weapons contracts, the diplomatic protection, is directly implicated in why the Yemen conflict has been allowed to continue for 11 years with no serious American accountability. The American weapons being used to bomb Yemen civilian infrastructure are products of the same transactional relationship between the U.S. government and Saudi Arabia that the lobbying money maintains. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is the documented, traceable chain of money and policy that connects the PAC question to the Yemen question directly. And just to end that off, they say this is not genocide by legal definition here in Yemen, but the framing can actually be used to minimize what is happening, which is one of the deadliest, most prolonged humanitarian disasters of the 21st century, involving documented war crimes by multiple parties, including the United States. The word genocide has a specific legal meaning that Yemen does not meet. The suffering of Yemeni people does not need that word to be taken seriously. What it needs is accountability for Saudi Arabia, for the Houthis, for the U.S. government, and for lobbying infrastructure that has kept American weapons flowing into the conflict for over a decade while the conversation stayed focused elsewhere. I'm telling you right now, Yemen is going to be the next thing that's going to be a big conversation in the next year or two going into the 2028 election. Because as we start talking about AIPAC and all that stuff, we got to talk about Saudi Arabia eventually, right? We got this
Yeah.
relationship with Saudi Arabia. Like everybody sees it. It's kind of awkward.
I mean, when the washing of of money by allowing them into the sporting world, right? And we seen it once the World Cup. We're in the World Cup right now in the USA, right? 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, because it was COVID. No, it was 4 years ago. Damn, it's already been 4 years. 4 years ago, the World Cup was in Qatar, right? And that was highly criticized for the amount of stress it put on the people. People were dying as they were building that stadium for them, and actually, you know, reporter passed away while covering the World Cup in Qatar, right? So, it it um, it is, because sports is the gateway. You know, it's it's easy to wash. It's easy to wash that up.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. We're so like, and like especially like with the screen time, YouTube, TV, TikTok, all this stuff. And then we go, oh, World Cup. Oh, okay, after that, it's like, oh, NFL. After that, it's okay, NBA is back. Oh, we got MLB. All nonstop throughout the year. Oh, GTA 6. Oh, the civilian, Doomsday, Avengers. All that entertainment. As much as we love it, you could live your entire life and not know any of this is going on. That that you know that honestly, like this country is kind of almost backed on. Um, but yeah, we need some accountability, man. The clearest accountability starts at the top of the chain. For Operation Rough Rider, the U.S. campaign that carried out over 1,000 airstrikes in Yemen between March 15th and May 6th of 2025 last year, killing 238 civilians and injuring at least 465, according to the Yemen Data Project. So it starts with Donald Trump. The commander-in-chief, legal experts, and advocacy organizations have noted that Trump had no right to start a new war without congressional authorization and no justification under international law as the attacks had nothing to do with self-defense or protecting the United States. The strikes were ordered by the executive without the War Powers Act authorization required by law. The two specific incidences Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International have called apparent war crimes. The Ras Isa port attack and the Sada Migration Detention Center happened on his watch under his order, so he should be held accountable. Then we got Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense. He publicly announced that the strikes and has expressed contempt for international law and rules and restraints intended to mitigate civilian harm. So he doesn't give a fuck about these people, of course. With Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth saying on March 4th, 2026, this year, that the investigation into the Manav strike was ongoing over a year after the events in question with no result released. As a civilian head of military responsible for overseeing compliance with the laws of war, his failure to investigate and his stated contempt for international legal constraints places him directly in the accountability chain. And now we got the CENTCOM commander, United States Central Command commander, executes all strikes orders in the region. Amnesty International formally requested information from the U.S. Central Command and U.S. Joint Special Operations Command on August 27, 2025, detailed findings and seeking clarification on the military objective attack and precautions taken in the Sada Migrant Detention Center strike. A year later, U.S. Central Command had not publicly released the findings of any investigation or announced whether accountability measures would be taken. Silence in response to the documented war crime inquiry is itself a form of accountability failure. So those are the top three people. But if we want to go with historical command responsibility, you got to go to Barack Obama. The drone war in Yemen was dramatically expanded under Obama. The CIA and the JSOC conducted strikes that killed hundreds of civilians with almost no transparency. The most documented single incident was a 2013 drone strike on a wedding convoy that killed 12 civilians. Obama also approved the weapons sales and refueling support to the Saudi coalition that began bombing Yemen in 2015. His administration created the infrastructure of impunity that every subsequent president inherited and expanded. Dark. Then Joe Biden, John Brennan, CIA director under Obama, and then multiple Secretary of Defenses, Robert Gates, Chuck Hagel, Ashton Carter, James Mattis, Mark Esper, Lloyd Austin. Each one of them signed off on Yemen policy, weapons transfer to Saudi Arabia, and strike authority. So this is what we do, guys. This is what we do, and I'm learning as we're going along that the rabbit hole goes deep on this.
Super deep. Super. Like Sly Diggler deep. And
Oh my goodness, bro. All right.
Daphne was. Yo, this ain't that dude. Joe Buttons was going crazy on the podcast talking about it, yo. That nigga sounded, yo. But anyway, to close the loop on what you're saying, because I know that's a big thing for him. So, as we are speaking right now, yes, the rabbit hole that we find ourselves into, it goes a long way, and if you keep, if you have a shovel and you're actually looking for something, then unfortunately there is a long line of dirt that you can dig up. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not a point where we are looking with our shovel and we hear this.
Yeah.
Meaning that's the end.
Yeah.
We don't. Sometimes the proverbial, this is the tip of the iceberg.
Even if you think it's the end, you gotta then get a freaking jackhammer on that bitch, because there's more. Because they put concrete on a lot of it, and brainwash people, make it possibly that things are not going on that are. So when we get that jackhammer out and you blast through that, sedimentary crust down below to get down to the core of things, you start to realize that this is how it's meant to run because you don't kill people like this unless it's intentional for years and
World
not.
population, buddy. They've been preaching it. They've been preaching world
But
population.
why
They've been trying to.
specifically Yemen? Why
Well, I'm not saying
specifically
that. I'm not just saying Yemen. It's all over. We're talking about Yemen. We're talking about Gaza. We're
Palestine?
talking about
Yeah.
Palestine.
But
We're
why
talking about.
specifically these regions? It's not like just bombing LA.
Well, no, I mean, realistically, this goes back to, I guess, if we want to be real, the Crusades,
They bombed a wedding
right?
convoy
Like we're
on their.
talking. It's
Imagine, like
based on
go ahead, my bad.
religion and religion and power, right? Like there's not too many people who believe in the coexist bumper sticker, right? There's not too many people that believe that we can coexist serving multiple gods because our religion teaches us that we have to serve only this God, right? So when we start talking about my God's better than your God, well, and then now we're digging. That's probably just surface level of what we're talking about. But what I'm saying is that when you extrapolate things and saying this is from the 1400s, from what we've been learning about, like they have been battling and over the principles that I think different than you. So when we're talking about people are less than, when we're thinking about people who dress different, look different, pray different, have a different ideology, they and we deem that our thing is,
Uh,
and they can't defend themselves at that, right? You see how we don't fuck with China, we don't fuck with Japan, we let them do whatever the fuck religion they got going on, and we don't give a fuck. You know why? Because they can defend themselves and they also hold leverage. We can't bully them. We can't big boy them. You read that Japan has they have it written in them, nigga. They not affected by no tariffs. No shit that y'all talk about, nigga. That don't affect our bread, nigga. We already read this week that they got paid their money from World War II. They got an apology already.
mhm.
Them niggas is like shit. We good. We got legislation in our pocket. We got money. We got an apology, nigga. We dare you to double back because
Now,
we've been preparing for your ass to think that y'all could do Hiroshima again. Because we'll fuck some shit up.
so you're right. They have shown that they can fight back, and we obviously did commit a war crime on them, and now they've, pieced it up to some degree due to, just constant allyship. It's almost like we've been to war. Now let's get this bread, But the United States has never none of this accountability will ever happen. Trump's not going to jail. Seth's not going to jail. We're not going to go to CCOM and take care of that. We're not going after Obama because the United States has never successfully prosecuted a senior official or military commander for war crimes committed in service of U.S. foreign policy objectives. The legal and institutional reasons are specific because the U.S. is not a member of the International Criminal Court. It withdrew its signature from the Rome Statute back in 2002 under John Bolton precisely to prevent ICC jurisdiction over American military personnel. That's the International Criminal Court. They don't want any jurisdiction over American military personnel at all. So the ICC has no authority over U.S. citizens unless the U.S. consents. Domestic prosecution is theoretically possible under the War Crimes Act of 1996, which makes it a federal crime for a U.S. personnel to commit grave breaches of the Geneva Convention. No senior official has ever been prosecuted under it, though. And then you got a congressional investigation, and censure is possible, but it requires political will that has never materialized because the members who would conduct the investigation are often the same ones who approve the weapon sales and the strike authorities. The practical result is that Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have both documented their Yemen reports. There is virtually no accountability for violations committed by parties to the conflict, and the protracted crisis in Yemen has been exacerbated by pervasive impunity. I'm going to go back and look at Obama's statements on Yemen. I was just going to do that after the podcast just for my own research.
Mhm.
If justice was served, the accountability chain runs from Trump and Hegseth at the top of the current administration through Obama and his national security team for the architecture of the drone program, through the Secretary of Defense who approved weapons to Saudi Arabia, through the congressional members who funded it and blocked oversight, through corporate executives whose companies supplied the weapons, and it's not a short list. And it crosses party lines. It's on both sides. Um, the reason none of them will be held accountable is not because the evidence is insufficient. The evidence is overwhelming, and the public it is publicly documented. The reason is that the United States has systematically dismantled every mechanism that could hold it accountable, starting with refusing to join the ICC, specifically so that this accountability can never happen. No wonder we have Trump for president.
I mean, it was they. I mean, they told us. As Stephen A. yells all the time. They told you what's gonna happen.
I don't want to
He
talk about
told
Stephen
you.
A. I don't give a fuck about
Well, again, what I'm.
because he
I'll
don't even.
say.
I don't think he even knows
They,
this. I think that what
well,
he's
oh,
talking about is probably
no.
2025 and the mainstream conversation. And just because somebody told you something's going to happen doesn't mean that
Well, I
you
mean,
can't fight back. Or
this was the underlying thing. The power was the underlying thing that they were trying to push through, right? Like, so when we're saying that, when we're speaking about Trump is doing this differently this time, if we're paying attention,
yeah, he's going beyond the
it
Work Powers Act. He's just like not
is
even going through there. So it's not
it's
like
not.
accountability is not like, oh, we all gonna do it. He's like, nah, me and Pete, let's go.
And realistically, it's who is riding with me. Because if you ride with me, you get the power too. You know what I'm saying? And what we're paying attention to is a lot of power people attach themselves
To
to
the
the power
teat.
train. So when when I completely understand, because to this extent, Chidi, no, I'm not saying that. But we can sit here and say it was going to be bad. Did we know to this extent? Like we said, as we're actively trying to dig and find out what is really happening,
Uh-huh.
like we had no idea when Trump and Elon was going at each other. It was like, oh, okay, it's a divide of power. No, that nigga got a slap on the wrist. A nigga got put in timeout, and then that nigga got made a trillionaire. Because what he understood was, as much as I think, and he said it out loud, nigga, I impacted the election. I bought Twitter to impact the election. In so many words. Because I don't want to say that I'm lying on the guy. But in so many words, Elon Musk has proven that his only place in this administrative circle was to allow the administration to even happen in the first place. The influence that Twitter had during that time of pushing misinformation or supporting those ads that were pumped with unlimited amount of dollars or whatever the case may be was all severely um, uh, uh, potent by, again, you got people that's creating Blue Sky and Threads and things like that because of what Twitter had turned into after it was purchased, right? And so I really do understand when you're saying that nobody can say that they saw this, but when we were preaching Project 25 in 2023 and in 2024, we knew some ugly, nasty shit was going to happen. Then on top of that,
But
we get the one beautiful bill.
but you're missing the broad. scope of it, because the "we told you" thing, that's who cares? Like Barack Obama started this shit in Yemen. So these drone strikes killing a wedding, convoy, people on their wedding day, killing 12 people just like on a whim. And there's no accountability to
I mean,
me.
people tried to hold him to the fire. People, and I think that's what I think that's when we get a lot of fight. Remember, we just texted about this, and I'm like, it's how Democrats lose is because the accountability is not there, and then they always try to hit a reverse Uno card and be like, no, if we're going to speak about truths, this is the truth that they're doing right now. And all the red has to do is, like you just say, he started it. Hypocrisy. He started it.
So
What you got to say about
we
that?
gotta, it's wrong. We gotta come together for this to happen. I just asked Claude, like, how can the people change this country for the better? And they said, this is the question everything is built to answer. That's what it says. It says, here's the honest, practical breakdown. Not inspiration, not theory, actual mechanism that works. First, you got to understand that what power actually responds to. This is power in America does not respond to outrage.
No.
It responds to three specific
Fuck
things.
no.
Exactly. Three specific things. Organized money, organized votes, and organized disruption. Every successful movement in America in history that produced structural change did at least two of those things, three, two of those three things simultaneously. Civil rights, labor rights, women's suffrage, the New Deal, the consumer protection movement, all of them combined multiple forms of organized pressure at the same time. Outrage alone, including the kind that generates millions of social media impressions, has almost no track record of producing legislative change without those other elements attached. The most powerful tool is the most underused, and that's local elections. The presidency gets 90% of political attention and produces maybe 30% of the decisions that actually affect daily life. The decisions that determine your child's school, your water quality, your zoning laws, your police department's policies, your property taxes, your local businesses regulations, your public transit, those are made by city council members, county commissioners, school board members, judges, district attorneys, and state legislators. Most of those races are decided by few hundred to a few thousand votes. A
Exactly.
single organized neighborhood can swing a local race.
Yep.
And local officials become state officials become federal officials. The pipeline of political power runs directly through local government, and most people skip it entirely. Me and you've been saying this since the beginning of this pod. You got to get more active, And it brought up Mamdani. It says the Mamdani model is proof of concept that you just covered on the show. He was not a national figure when he started. He built a local political operation in New York City that eventually produced a mayoral win, then congressional primary sweeps. That did not happen because of a viral moment. It happened because of years of local organizing that built a durable political infrastructure. That infrastructure is replicable anywhere. The specific things that individuals can do to move the needle is run for something, first and foremost. You can run for school board, you can run for city council, water board, zoning commission. These positions have real power over decisions that are chronically understaffed with people who have progressive values, because most people assume politics is something that happens somewhere else. It does not require wealth or prior political experience. It requires being organized, showing up, and knowing your neighbors. Two, join or build a local chapter of something. Organizations that produce political change are not national nonprofits with slick websites. They are local chapters with tenant unions, labor unions, civic leagues, neighborhood associations, and issues specific advocacy groups that meet regularly, know each other personally, and have a plan for a specific geographic area. The research, Chris, you can do so much damage, bro. You can do so much damage for a red state, bro. You could turn this whole shit around, bro. It takes some time, but you can do it. The research
Yeah.
on political change consistently shows that face-to-face organizing in defined geographic areas outperforms any digital campaign by orders of magnitude. Three, follow the money in your local government. Every city council, every vote, every county contract, every school board budget is public record. All that shit. City council, every county contract, public record. Most people have no idea what their local government is spending on or who is getting the contracts. The local journalists who used to cover this have mostly been eliminated. That means the citizens themselves have to
Damn, I could be a journalist.
do.
Cause I might not be able to run politically, but I can be a journalist.
Yeah, and you can
Hell
organize.
yeah.
And you can organize. Like
And I can organize.
I know
Yeah.
you don't trust everybody. Everybody's gonna come to the cookout, but people like you, and you can get people. You can talk to people. Like so that means but yeah, for all the money, that means the citizens themselves have to look at the money and find it themselves now because the journalists have been eliminated. When organizing groups start showing up at budget hearings with specific questions about specific line items, local officials respond because they are not used to being held accountable by informed constituents. Vote in every election and not just the presidential years. Spend money with intention. Me and you talk about that too. And understand and use the legal system. The legal system is not neutral, but it's real. It's a real tool. Just disparate impact lawsuits, public record requests, civil rights complaints, environmental litigation, zoning laws, zoning challenges. All these are available to organized community groups, and all of them have produced concrete policy changes. The NAACP Legal Defense Fund, the ACLU, and dozens of smaller legal advocacy organizations exist specifically to help communities use these tools. The barrier is usually not access, but awareness and organization. The structural change that require sustained national effort. Beyond what individuals can do locally, there are specific structural reforms that would fundamentally change the balance of power in American politics that have broad public support but face intense institutional resistance. Public campaign financing, ranked choice voting, automatic voter registration, proportional representation in the House of Representatives, and ending filibuster. The honest thing about all this is that none of this is fast. The Powell memo we covered on the show last week, the 1971 blueprint for corporate takeovers of American institutions, took 50 years to implement. The people who wrote it were playing the long game with institutional patience. The counter to a 50-year project is not a viral moment on an election cycle. It is a sustained, multi-generational commitment to building the counter institutions, the media organizations, the legal infrastructure, the political pipelines, the educational frameworks that challenge the ones that memo built. Ooh, let's talk about it. The reason this feels impossible is partly because it's genuinely hard, and partly because making it feel impossible is in itself a strategy. People who believe change is impossible do not organize. People who do not organize do not threaten concentrated power. The learned helplessness is the product. It's manufactured. And the antidote to manufactured helplessness is not inspiration. It's information, organization, and showing up in the specific places where specific decisions are made, starting with the ones closest to home. The Mamdani story, the Crockett story, the housing bill fight, the disparate impact robot, the Powell memo, all of it connects to the same thing. The question is not whether the system can be changed. It has been changed before by people with far fewer tools than exist right now. The question is whether enough people decide that the work of changing it is their responsibility rather than someone else's. That is not a political position. That is a fact of how every structural change in American history has actually happened. That is wise words from my buddy Claude. I do not take the claim because I learned to, and this is because I actively am trying to seek for something like that. Seek for, all right, we have, this is like the bedrock of this institutional system that causes, no accountability for our war crimes. How do we unearth that bedrock and clean slate? I know it's gonna be a long time, but we can do that fight, bro. We can do that fight. We can start it, or at least join it. I know there are people who are already doing it.
Yeah. it's an uphill battle. As we see, it's not something that can't not be done. But it's gonna take us to do it, the work, right? As we're constantly just talking about how tired we are with the work that we're doing here. But this work matters not if we don't go out and implement it in the real world to change what we come back on here and talk about.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, 100%.
it,
And I will. Trust me, I just gotta get some things in order, and trust and believe I will miss some pies because I'm at a, city council meeting eventually.
oh, nigga. Nah, we not missing no pods. We gonna do some live stream pods at them city
You want
council meetings.
you want me to do some IRL? You gotta change from talk show to
Yeah,
IRL
man.
stream.
Nigga, I gotta have you go to the same Rockland County that had Jackson Dart there,
Oh my
nigga. So
God, bro! I was gonna
I
go to that
need
school. That's where that's where I was gonna go to school. That's where I had gone to school actually. I have taken school courses there. So man, yeah, it's a long process, but yeah, that's why when I say like I've told you this before, like if there's one person I could talk to in the world living and have a conversation with, it's Barack Obama. If I could just sit down and have an hour and a half conversation with this guy, there's so much to ask, because
mm,
when I see him talk, I see a good man. But when I look beyond and I see some of the questionable actions that took place under his regime, I would love to ask him, like, why and how much power did you have in this, and what's going on really behind the scenes, and why didn't you fight to, get Merrick Garland in the Supreme Court? Why'd you just let Trump come in and let the Republicans just stall you out? You didn't even try to fight. Like these things are big questions I have of why, he didn't fight for these, and I was confused. Like me, I was in the hospital during a lot of the second term, and I would watch the news, and I just didn't understand why he wasn't fighting for what he, as an executive, the executive, holding the executive seat, could do. When a Supreme Court a seat, passes away, it's your job to choose the person to go there and to take the seat, to fill the seat. Chose somebody back in, freaking April or May or something like that. And they stalled out the last year of his election, since his election year, until Trump was in office, and then he filled the seat in January. I was like, this is so weird. Why can't you get your guy in? Um, and he didn't fight. He didn't go publicly about it. He didn't talk about it. He just let shit rock, as if that wasn't like a huge decision for the future of the country. And now we have people redistricting black neighborhoods. So yeah, there's a lot. If I could talk to him, I would love to have that conversation. Um, that's the guy who I wouldn't take the 5,000 or five whatever, the hundred
500,000.
five
You
hundred
you
thousand.
you would take dinner with Obama.
I would take General Obama if he's telling the truth. Like he would have to like some truth serum, like not like something like, oh, you can just lie to me. Obama with truth serum, yeah, I would take that 500 million. I
Because
would.
if Obama gonna lie to you, you pass the 500,000. I know you'd be mad at him,
Oh
motherfucking nigga.
hell yeah, no, I might as well take the 500 million. Yeah, for sure. But nah, I think the information of what he's gone through as the first black president is very valuable for me as a black man in America, and also getting some real insight onto the levers that really move in this country behind the scenes. Now, switch gears. Leave you all with something that was funny about this.
What you
Or
got?
uh, Dean Withers, your boy Dean. He was on Jubilee this week and talked to a bunch of MAGA women. And let's take a look at how that went.
Need strong alpha males like Donald J. Trump, Spencer Pratt, and our loved Charlie Kirk, who will
Jesus.
have secure borders, who will not let criminals
Did you
on the
just
street.
unironically say strong alpha males? Get a grip. Stand up.
You
Listen.
girl, get a grip. You're a man. You want to mansplain to me?
Well, I mean, actually, you just said that men are better at leading than women,
I
so you
do.
should listen to every word that
I
comes out
am
of my mouth
listening.
per your perspective, right?
Mhm.
So if you think that men are the strong alpha males and women are the emotional followers, why
I
won't you
think-
follow my lead and listen to what I have to say?
First off,
because
sir,
you don't believe what
that
you
is
say.
a straw man. I believe that male and female are created equal in the image of God. We each have the same dignity and the same value. We have the same brain, the same rationality, but we have different and distinct roles.
Okay.
Why is it that women can get pregnant? Only females can get pregnant.
Okay.
Why can't men get pregnant?
Well, of course, that would boil down to the physical biology.
Physical biology.
Because
and
that
isn't
of
that
the.
innate that women are more geared towards child rearing and child raising than men are?
So once again, the way that we started this conversation was by me agreeing that there are going to be differences between men and women. You
Exactly,
just simply
so men
Could
are
I
better
finish?
leaders.
I would love if I could finish. You can't say because there's differences between two things that thereby innately one of the two things is going to be better at leading than the other. Like, I think that's ridiculous. Listen, once again, my claim is that the differences that do exist between men and women ultimately don't amount to justifying the claim that men are better at leading than women. And let me respond because you made a lot of claims.
On and on.
I think it's been the opposite.
Okay.
To respond to your claims,
Thank
you
you,
said
sir.
that there's a difference in the hormonal balances of men and women that make women more emotional. Well, I mean, I already went over this with
It's not even just more emotional. It's that our bodies are not equipped to handle the same levels of cortisol as men. We
They're
need
actually more
care.
equipped.
Look at Donald Trump. The
They're
man
more
literally
equipped.
lives off of Diet Coke and McDonald's.
Okay.
We could not do that.
Okay, listen. Actually, women are more equipped than men to deal with stress. It is proven by
That's
the science.
actually not true.
No, I'll tell you. You could look this up. Anybody at home could look this up. Women have thicker dendrites in their brain. And study after study after study has concluded time and time and time again
Do
that
you
this
think-
gives women the ability to better manage their stress than men. And you actually brought this up. You brought up childbirth. The reason why women have thicker dendrites in their brain, giving
We
them
are
a
made to
greater
go through
navigation
physical
ability,
pain for
giving
our
them
children.
giving them a greater ability to deal with their pain and stress, is because of childbirth. Okay?
Yes, because
and that's
childbirth
exactly why
is a
women can
big
deal with their
thing.
stress better than men. So your claim that the opposite is true is wrong. And plus,
We-
once again, when we look in society, how men deal with stress compared to how women deal with stress, well, when a man gets mad, he commits a violent crime, he kills his wife, he kidnaps
Do
his
you know-
children, he sets
okay.
his house ablaze. And this is why men are significantly more likely to commit every single crime on the books,
We need
including
strong
crimes
men.
that do not have a necessity for any use of physical strength, such as arson, cyberbullying,
If you think
or,
women are
or
such good
terroristic
leaders, why won't you
threats.
let me speak?
Well, I'll happily let you speak in response to the things that I've said, as long as you're able to stay on topic
I am
and
able to
respond to
stay
the
on
meat on the
topic
bone.
because I'm a woman and I have a brain. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I guess women are better at leading than men.
Let's check this one out. Unless you have a comment on that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's painful. Let's check out another one because I don't know why he suggested this up to this either.
Be attracted to the opposite
Define
sex.
natural.
Natural is what God made, Adam and Eve.
So God didn't make gay people? You just told me that you would
Yes.
prefer a man who, quote unquote, likes the female body and is willing to barge into the private
Well, no,
women's
I
only
said
dressing
no.
rooms to
I
look
said
at them while they have no
before that.
clothes on.
I said
compared
before
to a
that.
gay- You're saying I think that
I
real
said
men
I
with
don't believe
testosterone are
that's
sexual
right.
predators.
So you just lied about me right now because I said I don't believe what he did was right.
But it
by
was
going
the
in there.
but I would prefer a man who likes to look at the naked bodies of women that
Oh,
got
I've
it.
been over someone that is attracted to other men. Yes,
Why?
absolutely. Because it's not natural. Well, actually,
thought that God was the creator of all.
No, that's sin, and sin came from the devil.
No, sin is a conscious decision. Being gay is not a conscious decision.
Well, actually, being gay is a conscious decision.
Okay, could you choose to be
it's
gay?
an action. It's an action.
Could you choose to be gay?
Huh, yes, absolutely.
Could you choose
I
to be a-
actually could have
Listen,
chose
hey.
to be gay when I was younger.
Could you choose to
I
be
could have-
attracted to your mom?
A lot of women actually tried
Could you
to hit
choose
on
to be
me,
attracted
and
to your
I
mom?
said
If
no.
attractions are a
But I
choice, could
do
you choose
look
to be
at-
attracted to your mom?
Huh? Can you choose to be a pedophile?
No, I couldn't choose to be a pedophile. Could you choose to be attracted to your mom?
Oh, so there you go. He thinks, no, it's an action, honey. And you can choose to sin or you can choose not to sin. I try to keep the devil away from
Can
me.
I just get a clear answer to the question?
And no, this is a clear answer. But see, you don't come from a biblical standpoint.
What are
You
the
come
first
from
4
a
books in the New
worldly
Testament?
standpoint. I come from a biblical standpoint that there's 2 sexes. There's no 50 different genders. That came from a pedophile named John Money who lied about a study to push reassignment surgery on thousands of people through his lie that butchered this poor boy and put him through hell. Reimer twins, go look it up on Oprah.
Yeah.
And no offense, I don't trust a woman that named her cat vagina. You know, you may not imagine this, but when I was your age, I was a model. And I can tell you for a fact, every fashion show, every modeling call, there are men in the dressing room. There are makeup artists, there are designers. It's not uncommon. And you're making it as if it's this big, huge deal. Donald Trump at the time was the head of the Miss Universe and Miss USA pageant. It wouldn't be surprising if I was in there changing for him to walk in. And you guys, because let's look at the camera. He's got a face for that one too. Let's go to E. Jean Carroll since she already went over this for 20 minutes.
Can I respond to that?
Sure, but we're down to 1 minute.
It'll
You've
only
already
take
talked
me
about
5
this.
words.
Go.
Trump said that there were no men anywhere.
Well, I don't care what he said. I'm saying as a woman that's been backstage at many
Well,
fashion
he was
shows.
the owner.
There are
He was
men
the one backstage.
everywhere.
He said that he
well,
was the
and I'm
only
sure
man
that there
back
were other
there.
men. Forever or just that instance.
He said
I'm not
that there
buying
were-
it. Okay, we got
that's
50
what he
seconds.
said
I'm going
out of
E. Jean
this.
Carroll.
Fuck.
E. Jean Carroll, number one, the statute of limitations had run out. Number two, for a very long time, she never reported it to anyone until Reid Hoffman paid her to freaking go after this lawsuit. Why she is now being charged with perjury. Not only that, as a celebrity walking into Bergdorf Goldman's, you don't think that anybody would have a picture of him? And no offense, I don't trust a woman that named her cat vagina and freaking said was sexy and charged 21 other men with that crime.
Lori, you're going to get another fact check.
Well, you go ahead and fact check. Well, I think it's disgusting because I was a victim of actual and abuse. And if you want to compare what happened in the Epstein files, let me just tell you, I was one of those little girls. Okay?
I'm sorry to hear that, Lori.
I was one of those little girls, but the guy was shooting. So for you to sit there and say it's disgusting, I'm sorry, I don't agree with the woman as a woman who was abused. I don't agree with the attacks falsely on Donald Trump because of the crap that your side always has to push because you got such bad TDS, it's insane. That woman is a nut job. I knew somebody that worked with her at Simon Schuster said that she was so inappropriate. She also accused 21 other men of the same freaking crime.
Name 5 of them.
I don't know their names.
Because they don't exist.
I think that we need.
Okay. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, bro. I know. But Dean had to endure this for 4 hours. That's crazy.
I mean, Dean wasn't doing himself any favors, realistically. Like when he said, "Can you choose to be gay?" and like, yeah, I can choose. Can you choose to like your mom? I'm like, where are we going with this? And then like, can you choose to be like your mom? If this is a choice, and he said, then she said, "Can you choose to be a pedophile?" And he said, "No." I'm like, then where the fuck are we going with this? Like, where are we trying to go with this, brother? Because it seems like the people who are doing nasty things to the children are having a choice. And they choose to do it because they're not gonna get caught, brother. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think Dean did do himself there. Honestly, I think when I see Dean debate, I don't think he's the best. I think he has good debates. I think there's a guy who he's his friend Parker who I think does a really good job. Parker, he stays on a certain topics that I appreciate. But Dean, I think he tries to get people in gotchas that sometimes aren't so much gotchas. But here's the thing: that we got women out here debating Dean. One, to say that they don't lead as good as men. Two, to say that they prefer a man who's attracted to a woman than a gay man leading. Um, even if that guy has been accused of sexual assault and sexual
Misconduct.
misconduct, and I just want people to realize or try to ask themselves, can we find a better candidate that can lead but doesn't have these things and multiple divorces and not attached to the empty files? Like we don't have to sit here and justify it just because he's a Republican and you want to support the Republican ticket. You can have your own moral and your mind, like the girl said, I'm a woman with a brain. If you're a woman with a brain, you don't have to just blindly support this guy. But I thought this was insufferable, bro. And I know Dean is went through it, but even watching it is insufferable. I couldn't get through it because people are so far beyond the pale when it comes to um, holding anything accountable to this guy, that if they like him, and it's sad. Like me, I like Obama, right? But as we sit here on the podcast, I can sit here and say, man, I would have to ask him questions because it doesn't make any sense. That's why when I saw Anton on a video, Anton Daniels talking about Trump, he said, "Oh yeah, I don't agree with this with Trump." It's refreshing to hear Trump supporters to say, "Hey, I don't agree with this thing Trump did specifically." Like not like, "Oh yeah, I don't like everything he does," and just say that like blanket statement. No, say this slush fund, I don't like. I don't rock with it. I'm not a fan of that. I respect that. I mean, if we can like we can have an honest conversation at least. Like this shit is insane. I and I think it's sick because these are people that will not give a damn and drag this country down to the depths of hell with their ignorance. But hey, come see, come saw.
Did you say Mama San Makusa?
Yeah. No, I didn't say that.
Oh man. We got anything else for tonight's show?
Zohran Frozen Rat in New York City. Shots, Zohran. Appreciate that. Um, and
He
wrestling
did
coming.
what?
He actually froze the rent. He said he was gonna. It was one of his campaign policies. Is he froze the rent, and so I'm not sure how many. But we can talk more in specifics later. But yeah, as of today, they put a provision in to freeze certain apartments rent, so they can't go up. You know, over the
So
next.
that'll be our Monday topic. We'll get some more information
Yeah,
on
we got
that.
more info.
Y'all
Okay.
tune in, and we'll you guys tune in for Monday. We'll break down Zoran freezing the rent up there in New York and anything else that broke down over the weekend. We'll cover your weekend news on Monday. Uh, you was about to say some wrestling topics. I want to say before we say anything, shout out to Trick William and Last Legend for getting married. They tied the knot and made it official. Pictures is out. Trick Williams on SmackDown with the ring finger. Ooh, I'm tripping again. I ain't even got my ring on. So let me put one of these on.
Don't hear about that.
I don't mean, nigga, I just keep one in the garage. Even if it's a rubber band, just put that. Shit.
Shout out to
So
Trick.
yeah, shout out to Trick and Last Legends.
Last legend, man. Congratulations.
He not a player. He just crush a lot. Nigga off the market. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
man.
shout out to him.
Yeah, even in Glenn pictures had his shirt off. Keep it.
Nigga, if I was Trick Williams, I'd never wear a shirt either. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I would not wear a shirt. And if my wife knew what she had of me and Trick Williams, I can get married without my shirt on, nigga, because I'm Trick Willie, and this is what you got for the rest of your life, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean, nigga. Trick Willie, nigga. Shout out to you, big dog. You know what I mean? I know you hold it down for us. Shout out to Dark Skin Brothers. You know what I mean? You know what? Go ahead with your topic. I got something else. I got the funny video to end the show.
Okay.
But go ahead and we got your topic because it's based on, our brother Cam Newton. He is a content creator. I'll tell you
Yeah, he really is. Um,
that.
They create content. I just thought is that create content, and they tries that. He creates content for sure. Um, Liv Morgan, WWE Women's Champion, been champion since WrestleMania, right?
I guess, yeah.
Has not
Yeah.
defended the championship, or maybe once defended it on Raw, maybe. People are saying that one, she shouldn't have been the Queen of Ring Comp tournament. Two, that her title reign has been ass. Now, I was going to ask you in WWE, are title reigns overrated? Are title reigns
Yeah.
overrated? That's the question.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think title reigns are overrated. I think, um, you know, there are certain wrestlers who, Taker, for a big example, got over as a main event talent, main event storyteller, can be in the main event picture, but didn't have to be champion 14, 13, 12, 16, 17 times. You know what I'm saying? So, you can live in that space. You got somebody like Danhausen on the other side of the spectrum, complete comedy act, but it's super lucrative to the business to where he's influential, and he has to be on every show. He has to be on every major. Like, so you got somebody, he ain't never gonna be no champion ever. And if Danhausen win a title like a World Heavyweight Championship, it's gonna be like David Flair, and that'll be the end of WWE. I can tell you that.
I think he'll win an Intercontinental Championship or a U.S. Championship. I really do. I don't think he's not going to win
They
anything.
will have to bring out a 24/7 championship for that nigga. He better not even win those. Nigga, Pat Patterson and Harley Race will roll over in their grave if they names inaugural or fucking synonymous with the championship, and then it's all the greats and then Danhausen. I ain't having it.
I think that you think that way because you're older. But TKO, remember it. TKO. They can sell Danhausen title belts, and that's how they're gonna get there. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe not in 3 years.
I ain't gonna hold
But
you. If they
within
give
4 or
us a
5 years,
Danhausen belt like the Fiend, it's pretty fine. But it ain't gotta. I can't. I just wish it's like that.
maybe they just sell it. They don't gotta make him the champion to do that. Maybe that's possible. But I agree. I agree. Like title reigns are super overrated because we had the whole thing about Jay Cargill last year. Oh, she's not defending it. Oh, this has been a terrible title reign. I think people are super. They don't get it. They want to complain about something.
I said that about Rhea title reign too.
Rhea too, But the truth of the matter is, we have to look at how Paul Heyman was talking about how they book nowadays. Things have changed. They're booking for events. They want to sell out arenas. Now you got 2 nights WrestleMania. You got 2 nights SummerSlam. You got Royal Rumble. That's a big night. Survivor Series is a big night. You got in between there. You got some Saturday Night Live events, and you got some other B tiered PLEs that, and then you got Saudi shows. So how do you book so you have the big fight on the big show in the big stadium or the big arena? And that's how they're booking these things. Now, do you, and if you do have, you just want to throw people out there for Carmelo Hayes to beat, understand that one, somebody has to take a loss. Two, you're gonna be like, but there's no story, like he just beat that guy. Now he beat that guy. Now he beat that guy. And to tell a story, you kind of need to have this person facing somebody specifically for a period of time. And then when they do that, it's like, we've seen this already. Oh, you guys are still doing this story. You guys are still having Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Oh, we already seen this. But that's a real story. But do you just want Becky Lynch to come out there and just have a match and go home? Because that's not what she is. She's an attraction. You want to have her on a mic. You want to have her, say something that gets people riled up. Say something that gets people to cheer or boo somebody, And Carmelo Hayes is the other guy where he's on the other side of the spectrum where he's going to go out there and have a banger match. And his title reign is all about match quality. And yeah, he didn't even show up at WrestleMania because they wanted to sell Trick Williams and Sami Zayn because that was the bigger match. They gave the title to them. So, you got to look at it from that point of view. I do think title reigns are overrated, no matter because nobody says, "Yo, man, remember that Chris Jericho's second IC title run?" No one does that. There's only a few that we will say that are legendary, and
Well,
that's
title
Gunther's.
title title runs are synonymous with feuds, though. So like,
Exactly.
I might not say his second run, but I will be like, when him, Benoit, and Angle wrestled for that in the
That's a
European
match.
Championship.
That's one match. Yeah.
But it was an angle. It was an angle of the reign, like the reign of that was that made like you got to. So you got to think about it. If Jericho wins that championship in that match, then if he wins the championship in that match, that is the second or third reign, and then that feud is carried on. Like in my mind, that's how I think about it.
What
So
happened
to
in that triple threat you talking about at WrestleMania?
the triple threat of
Yeah,
Kurt Angle, Benoit, and Jericho,
like
yeah.
for instance, Jericho won the European Championship. Chris Benoit left with the Intercontinental Championship, and then Kurt Angle moved on to the main event scene. That was Kurt Angle's run. Like that was Kurt Angle's run. Then do we remember the European Championship of run of Chris Jericho or the IC Championship? Can you name me one match of that run of theirs that you're like, no,
Well,
you don't
I
remember.
think
The
Benoit and
meta
Jericho then ended up having a feud for that IC title, if I'm not
at
mistaken.
some point, but it wasn't.
They had a ladder match and everything like that for that. But you
But
just but
I'm not even sure if that's right after that situation. You know what I mean? Like Chris Jericho took the European Championship and he defended that separately. It wasn't like they fought right after that. Down the line, yeah, they did. But I don't know when it happened. But my point is this: they did have a ladder match that was fire. But my point is this: we don't say, man, that run, that Chris Jericho European Championship title reign. No, when we talk about title, we talk about Gunther. We're talking about Roman Reigns. We're talking about John Cena's United States Championship run. We don't even talk about John Cena's WWE or World Championship run. People say, "Oh man, that was a crazy ass title run with John Cena." We can't name them. That's how you know they don't matter. What you remember is the moments they wanted, the moments they had this match. Oh man, CM Punk, John Cena. Oh, CM Punk, John Cena, RVD. We remember these matches. We don't remember like everybody they faced during the run. We remember Kofi Kingston and WrestleMania and Daniel Bryan. We don't remember him and Dolph Ziggler as much, and say, okay, that entire run, even though it was really good matches.
well, I mean, no, that's not fair to say because when you talk about Kobe's reign, it's Kofi's run. When Kofi got the title, so when you're asking for that, I think that's very. I don't know if you meant to do that because Kofi's only reign as champion is the only reign that we remember of Kofi. So when he wins it at Mania, and then it's Dolph, and then it's Randy, like you do remember those things. You do remember the very first night that he wins it, and he's out there with Seth Rollins. Like you do remember that. Like you remember like that. I do, and so that's part of the reign. And
Okay, just
I
because you
think
remember it, are you saying that's like one of the best World Championship runs? Like that's what I'm trying to get at. Like
no,
the
but
point I'm trying to make is
that's not what you're asking though. You asked this championship. You said
no,
this.
but no one's saying, okay, let's talk about the best World Championship runs. They're saying the best moments, the best matches. That's my point. No one's talking about
I
when they
don't
talk
know.
about
We have that
Kofi.
debate.
When they
We
talk
have
about
that debate though,
when
and
we talk
we'll
about
have that debate.
when we talk about Kofi, we don't say that run. We talk about the matches that he had. To me, I don't look at it like, yeah, that run was, I pair that now with Bryan Danielson's run with the championship. I don't do that because you even remembered Bryan Danielson. Obviously, Kofi you remember because it was specifically we're first Black WWE champion. We were way more in tune with that, so maybe we can remember it as it's just it's a monumental thing. But can you remember the guy who his run, the guy who had right before him, who he faced at every single match he had? No, like we don't lock in on that. Now, if we try to rack our brain, we can do that. The point I'm trying to make is title reigns are overrated, just like you know it is, and you said it was too. So we agree.
Yeah, I
But
mean, but title that don't mean just because I said title reigns are overrated don't mean that the title reign of Kofi is considered overrated because that reign that was his only run. So that
that's not what I
does.
said though. I
I
said
know,
that.
that's what we individual. That's okay. So you just had two conversations and then said you're right on both of them. So I'm just trying to figure out.
No,
The
I
first one
didn't.
was that yeah.
Go ahead. Go
What you
ahead.
said when you said, "Do we talk about reigns?" I said we don't. Me and you do. We can have that conversation.
Do we?
I'm not having a conversation with you specifically of who's a better, like, what did you say? Who's a better like a better champion, or who's a, like, no, like
Because
there's
here's the thing that I'm trying to get at. Basically, the conversation spurred when I was talking to Aze about Liv Morgan. And he's like, people are, we're like, this women's championship run is bad, and she shouldn't have been in the tournament. And I remember they did the same thing with Jay Cargill at the end of last year, and she doesn't defend the title and all that stuff. And I just said, listen, title runs are overrated, right? The title runs are overrated. It's about the matches and the moments. And to do that, one, these guys have to beat people along the run. So they got to beat people on the run, and you got to be okay with that person who's not getting the push losing the match on the run for building this guy's run. So when we talk about Liv Morgan, like I was talking about, who can lose to her right now? If you're not going to take the title off her, who can she lose to right now and give her time to then lose it one day with somebody who's worthy of taking it over and who is worthy of taking it off of her? So you got to answer those questions. So my point is not to say Kofi's run wasn't good or it wasn't great, but I'm saying that we don't sit here and say, man, what was a better run? Like the wrestling fans don't like just I think we overinflate the title run, and we don't understand that in the gross game of things, most people will remember the matches and the moments that were created.
But when you say remember the matches, if it's part of the reign and if the matches are bad, then that means we remember the reign. The Jay Cargill point of her being a champion was her only wrestling Chelsea Gray. Like, she didn't wrestle anybody else during that reign. So, like, when she wrestled Chelsea Gray on every fucking SmackDown, and then, all of a sudden she's wrestling Rhea Ripley and they have no chemistry, that made her reign bad.
First of all,
that made her only
they had a good match at WrestleMania to me.
I know, but you said the match, but
she did face Mi Chen during that time. She did face B5. She defended against Mi Chen, I think too. Now people are going to act like that doesn't count because she also defended against Chelsea Green. And,
I'm not saying that don't count, but I mean, I turned my I put my head down so my face did. No, I put my head down to say, remembering the matches of Mi Chen and B-Fab were stories of Jade. So it wasn't like, at the time, it wasn't about the championship per se. It was building Jade Cargill as a character. And that's for me observing.
But that's how, that's how a lot of these matches that are not going to be the culmination of a feud, like they had a feud. Like we had B-Fab and them, they had a feud that led to building Jade up. And we all knew that was building Jade as a bully. We knew that. I said that back then. We weren't even plotting at the time. But the fact of the matter is, the title reign is a title reign that's supposed to lead up to what? Her and Rhea. We wanted it to be her and Charlotte, but hey, it ended up being her and Rhea. We thought it would be Charlotte. And that's what we're going to remember. And granted, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, we're not. And now they're doing the same thing with Liv. And I think that, hey, what they're doing with Liv, I think what they did with Jade Cargill was more valuable than putting her in a match with, I don't know, Alexa Bliss, and then her beating Alexa Bliss on the run. I think established her as her character, and that's fine.
That's not true. I don't think that's true. I think
that's your opinion. That's fine.
But I mean, but that's the reason why we are having a conversation about reigns. Is my point. Like that's the only thing that I'm making about my point, because in specific to Liv Morgan and Jay Cargill, the apathy of fans saying that they're not defending or the storyline or the build of this champion is unenthusiastic. That is a part of the reign. Now you said they just building up to matches. Well, Rhea and Jay only had 2 big time matches, right? One with Jay having the title, one without her having the title. But we're talking about the matches in between. Chelsea match, the Mi Chen match, B-Fab matches. They were not matches that I'm going back to watch. So when I'm talking about the Jericho and the Benoit feud, that actually was something that from when that title was won to Royal Rumble ladder match, that was a feud. That's why it's something that I remember as a piece of time, right? As a piece of time, like that goes back to like reigns are timepieces almost. So if the title reigns matter I believe I said no, but it doesn't matter to a person. I believe so, because if you don't have a good title reign, or you don't have a good title run, or you don't have good title matches, then that kind of uh, puts you in a box that you probably might not ever get there again. You know what I'm saying? Like Jey Uso's title reign was met with a lot of online apathy, but because he actually is outside in those crowds at those arenas, like you said, TKO's looking at the business. Well, niggas still like this, man. Niggas still buying his merch. So he's still put in a situation where, and even during those matches, I remember the CM Punk match. Bad match. It was a bad match. Like, Jey Uso did not have during his title run, he did not have a lot of good matches, which also deems why people was like, oh, this title run is ass. Like, this title reign is ass. So I do believe that there's
my point
two
is
things.
that like I do believe that title runs are overrated because majority of them, you're not going to remember majority of the matches, and that's what I will say. That's my point. Whether you want to say you care about the entire run, or whether that some reigns have better matches than other reigns, obviously, yeah. But where it's not in the forefront of our mind like these monumental runs of like, oh my God, every single match was a banger, and I got to go back and watch this entire title run. You're gonna go back and watch the Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit title matches, and yes, that was cool at the time. That was a frame of time, and they were dropping the title back and forth at the time, and that's what's up. Like there's merit to that, but we are not gonna sit here and be act like Chris Jericho didn't win a European Championship at WrestleMania, and then he dropped it to Eddie, and it's like it's and
But that's a
people,
part of the Eddie lore, though.
no,
That's
no,
because
so but my point is like people are overrating these runs. Eddie became European champion, and we saw him on screen with China, and we can remember but it's the storylines that we remember. It's the moments we remember. To me, I get it. Like you saying, to me, I personally don't think that people are going to care as much about these title runs in a year, 2 years, 3 years. They're going to be like, yo, remember Jade and Rhea at WrestleMania, Jade and Rhea at Backlash. Oh man, that's when Jade really started, coming out of her shell and really kicking ass in the ring. That's what people are taking away from this stuff. And whether that run was good or not doesn't fucking matter.
if Jade never wins the championship again, yes, it will.
She will though. Like, and
But
I
I mean,
honestly,
but
I
that's
still
what
don't think it
that's
would. I disagree with that too. I still don't think
okay.
because she won it and she had a WrestleMania moment, and so. But I think she'll win it again, and it's not, and because there are people who RVD, like he won the championship. His run was very short lived, but it mattered. He never won it again. That's Yokozuna. Like it mattered. So that's my opinion.
But was Yoko a one-time champion?
It might have been two. Might have been two. My bad. So, but there's
And
people like him.
what I'm usually saying is that if you have a short run and it's successful and it's deemed successful and you're trustworthy, because with the RVD thing,
Nick Foley,
right? Like they couldn't trust RVD. They had a drug policy in place. The nigga said, I'm not gonna not smoke weed, and I pop a little pills. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and when it happens to Randy, we take the bet off of Randy. When it happens to Sean, we take the bet off of Sean. Right? So it's not like a talent based thing, but when Rob doesn't play the game and capitulate, then yeah, we're never putting the title on you again. It's like Jeff Hardy, right? Like, bro, we would love for Jeff Hardy to be champion again. We would love for him to be what we want him to be, but we can't trust you. So you would never get it again. Right? So
Yeah,
I
but
do believe that.
do people even like remember that run of Jeff Hardy? Like, oh, I remember that Jeff Hardy title run. No, they remember CM Punk, they remember Triple H. And, that's how I think about it. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. But to me, title runs are overrated. I'm not saying they don't matter. I'm not saying that you can't be like, oh man, some are better than others. I'm saying that they're overrated. That's it.
Well, with Triple H and CM Punk, was that his title reign? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that's what. You're right.
But
Respect,
there's
respect.
other matches involved in it that you're not going to remember. So who cares about the entire run?
I think you're conflating what people are saying. The entire run is not the jurisdiction of the reign, because as you just said that certain matches are forgettable, but that does not mean that's not the entire of the
So
to
the
the Jeff
entire run
Hardy
is not
point.
the entire run.
So when we're just Jeff Hardy, I actually was the reign. I'm asking because I don't know. I said, is the Triple H match in the Triple H feud and the CM Punk feud, was that the entirety of Jeff Hardy's reign? That's what I was asking. I think you
No,
said
it's not.
yes. Okay, that's what I was asking. I was asking, was that the entirety of his reign?
No.
So to your point, you said people don't forget, niggas don't remember all of those matches. That was never really my sticking point of people don't remember all of the matches, but the matches they remember within the reign is what makes the
So we
reign
agree.
rememberable. But you said it's just big time matches. I remember not just
Those
the
are-
Royal Rumble. Okay, go ahead, man. Yeah, go ahead.
No,
The
those are the
feuds,
big time matches. That's what I'm trying to say. Like those are the big time matches. Like but go ahead.
No, I hear you, but to what you were just leading up to about pay-per-views and how Paul Heyman, whatever the case may be, some of those things were at B shows. Some of those matches were at Armageddon. Some of those matches were at fucking No Way Out.
No,
Like it wasn't like
I wasn't complaining those two. I
I
was just saying that that's how they're booking nowadays, and you gotta recognize that. It doesn't mean that Liv can't have a great match with Io with the title not on the line at King and Queen of the Ring, and we'll see where it goes. Now, granted, do I like her run? Do I think it's epic? Not necessarily. I think that they're doing more story with her with Judgment Day backstage that people probably are not like feeling it. I think that there's friction between her and Roxanne, friction with her and Raquel. We'll see where that leads. I'm paying attention to the story. Just like I paid attention to Jay Cargill story with B-Fab and Michin. And I'm not too, me personally, I'm not too like, oh my God, this is so bad. Why are they not defending it? Because I see what they're doing. That's all. That's my point. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, I think that that there is a detriment to the point that this goes back to our reign's important. This makes your reign less important if you are not on screen saying that this is the prize and somebody's trying to take it from you. So I don't give a fuck what story you're trying to tell. The story that you tell as a wrestler is that I'm the best wrestler and somebody's trying to get my title from me.
They'll get there. The story, clearly they have a vision with what they're trying to do with the Judgment Day. In my does every single second have to be about the title to me? It's debatable, depending on what you have else you have on the show and what you're trying to do and who's available to take the title off of you or fight for the title and lose. It all comes into play. So yeah, within what but at least she's on TV, she's wrestling. They did this whole Ruka thing. We'll see where it goes. Breaking news. I'm pretty sure Jaylen Brown, he's Spur. You saw that? Jaylen Brown went to the Spurs.
I was actually I didn't get that. The last ESPN thing I got was from Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm actually trying to figure out how to
they're
run
they're making
OBS.
a strong push. I'm sorry. So it might not have been official yet.
Okay.
They're making a push to
All right.
acquire Brown, potentially.
Okay.
But they already put him in the jersey and put it on my fucking feed, so I don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah.
Nigga, that's the fan page that got you with the get down.
Yeah. But yeah. Long story short, Tyron's overrated. If you don't like it, yeah, you don't have to, but maybe like something else on the card or in the show. And we'll see. We'll see how things go.
I mean, you can say that, but not if I'm coming for that particular wrestler and that particular title or that particular division, and it's being underutilized. I think I'm not about to ho hum that as a fan. You know what I'm saying? Because of WrestleMania was in April. It's been June. if the argument is we don't care about range, you're right, because I don't remember a fucking match she's had.
It's June. It's June.
I understand.
Yeah. So I'm
Okay,
not saying to you. I'm saying to the people.
But what I'm
might be
saying
coming
is, but
for
what
that,
I'm just saying is,
you know.
even with a little title like the lesser title United States Championship,
You're not on TV. That's my point. It's like, you know,
but I'm not saying that she's not on TV. But when Trick's on TV, it's intentional with the title, right? Because he has challengers. So even with the number one contendership, that to me impacts the reign, because now we got Carmelo fighting for Ricky Saints is in the equation. Like, it matters to the echelon of which the title is held to for me. So then now when it's Ricky Saints versus Trick Willie for the title, it makes it more impactful when it's going to be a big money match.
I asked you, who are you feeding to Liv right now to make people happy while Queen of the Ring is going on? So we need all these people for the tournament. So while Queen of the Ring is going on, we need all these women for the tournament to make the tournament credible. Who are you feeding to Liv and giving the women's championship more time on TV during that time?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not Road Dogg and
exactly.
So
but
it's
that's my point.
They have a roster. That they have a roster. It's not my fault that your fucking president that you are chummy with fucked up the visa and Stephanie Vercour can't get her visa and come back and go get her championship. It's not my fucking fault that you fucked up that storyline. I don't know. I thought she was cleared. I thought her and Elia was cleared too. That's why he can't get back because of the visa. That's what I have. Let me double check.
I haven't heard that, but
let me double check that. But
that's not my president. That's your president.
I didn't say. I'm putting on TKO. I'm saying TKO. That's your president. That's your guy, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, look it up, because I never heard about the visa stuff. I haven't heard of the visa stuff. But from April to June, she's now in the Queen of the Ring tournament. She's on TV. I think people are overreacting, in my opinion.
I do think it was better. It's better use. I mean, I don't think she should have been. In the tournament. In the tournament. I don't believe she should have been.
I think she's in the tournament because they're like, we are booking this show, and we're not. And she's not. She doesn't have a match for the show unless she's in the tournament. So throw in a tournament. Like we already have the plan. All right, we have only a certain amount of time on TV to book this and that and the fourth and set things up for SummerSlam. All right, we need to start with the Chad Gable thing. We don't need to make a whole segment where Liv Morgan's going to be feuding with somebody who we know is going to lose. With Maxine, who you want to throw at her, who can't be in the tournament, but they can do that on the side. If you're in a tournament, because that's like it's null and void. Why would you be in a feud with her and in the tournament, because you're already going to, that's for a title shot essentially. So it does. I see why she's in the tournament. Like I get it. That we have on. Is Rhea injured? Because she's not doing much right now either.
Yes, Stephanie Vercour has been caught up in administrative bureaucracy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I did. Nigga, we were talking about Barack. And that bureaucracy.
What's Barack got to do with this? That too, man. Goddamn.
And it's a mix. And she has a legitimate physical injury and international paperwork hurdles. So she has a dual setback right now. So she does have a real AC sprain in her shoulder that kept her out of backlash. But right before her injury, she had frustration with the Chilean consulate in Miami, stating that she was struggling to get a response to emails and phone calls to resolve essential international paperwork. So to your point, there is a dual reason why she's not there, and injury is one of them. To your point of Raw women's roster, let me check that out, because I can possibly answer that question as I'm just freestyling, because why the fuck not? Excuse me.
All right.
Bailey, Natty, Ruka, Io Sky, I mean, the roster is thin. Oscar's
Right.
out.
That's what I said to AZ today. I was like, listen, we are savvy wrestling fans. We have to start treating this shit like boxing viewers or UFC viewers. They're booking it for the event, which will be in a couple months. So I'm gonna tap back in for SummerSlam. I know it's gonna get hot. They're gonna be probably doing this big fight. It might be Roman and Seth. It might be Roman and Oba. We'll see where they go with it. It might be Omen and Jay Uso or something like that. That's where we're looking in and tapping in. We might check in tomorrow at Night of Champions to say, okay, there's a couple of, this is almost like a smaller card, and we got to accept that. So, yeah, Liv might hold the title for WrestleMania to SummerSlam or beyond that, depending on who she's going to drop it to. And if she ain't in no crazy storyline, you understand that she probably wasn't going to drop it anyways, unless it was for injury or some kind of, real altercation or something that was unfortunate. So that's just the reality of it. That's just the reality of it. That's why I think back in the day it was a little bit different, when it was, the 90s, especially in the 90s before went public and everything like that. Yeah, Chris Jericho and Eddie Guerrero, we get that over every single week, and we can get Chris Benoit. It's just we're not there anymore. We're not there anymore. Oh, that's a crazy foursome. Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho in the 90s, all at the same time, competing for the mid-card championships and having banger matches. And then we want to compare that to today. How can we do that today? In this current climate with TKO, it's that's all.
I mean, you can, if you're just not scared and you got the fucking talent, you got the horses. I mean,
Now you sound like me.
No, I mean, not really. I mean, but realistically, like right now, I don't want to see Javon Evans lose again. Like he needs to win Intercontinental. I mean, what I'm trying to say, to make a star, like you already did it with Penta. Penta's good. He's the star. He's selling merch. He went to Mexico. He did the thing. All right, now it's time to have a big triple threat match or something like that, and then Javon wins.
I mean, that's something big, like something with like.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
You gotta put Ethan Page in that bitch. You gotta put some peoples in there, and mix
but
it up.
Ethan Page is great to be in that. Ethan Page is great to be in that match, in that feud, because he's the one that can take the pin. So I'm definitely around for having a triple threat of Penta, Ethan Page, and fucking Javon Evans, where it's a match of
Javon
Penta
just came. Like we could chill. Like and Paul Heyman talked about him being a attraction as well. So I think that they know what we want. Let's give it some time. Let's give it some time. We gonna get it eventually. We're not getting where we want it or when we want it. But like with Oba, he's gonna be champion at some point. But,
nigga, no, you sound like me. Fuck out of here.
We both.
Nigga, I'm listening to this motherfucker like I know this motherfucker ain't spewing this bullshit that he tell me to shut up on all the time, nigga.
Yeah, we really did use each other finishers. Just be patient, man. We'll wait and see. He's gonna be champion eventually. They know what we want. But it's true. And when I listened to Paul Heyman talking about it, I knew exactly what he was talking about, and that's why the weekly shows are not great because they're just trying to get to the next beat in the story, rather than saying, "Oh, how can we have the best Raw, the best SmackDown leading up to this?" I don't think that's the focus.
Well, that's definitely not our game plan because
Yeah,
we are worried about every fucking house show, nigga.
Are we?
Every set, huh?
Every house show we mean.
I'm saying like us, like we're not just focused on like big shows or something like us, like as far as how we are paying attention to what it is that happens, even with the scuttlebutt of wrestling news or whatever the case may be. We're not a fly by night.
I think we are fly by night. I'll be honest with you. We have been fly by night for about like a year or 2 years, bro. Like we kind of moved to that
But at the same time, it's only because we know so much. So when we don't get what we want or it's not done the way that it's supposed to be, and when we know somebody ain't motherfucker, like right now, the rumor is CM Punk's not hurt. They're just waiting for him to come back,
Yeah, he's not.
and they got something. They got something for like. But this whole time, I think Punk needed to be on screen
Oh, you think so?
for the WWE Championship with Cody. You don't leave off of that.
Oh, maybe you're right. There's something that you probably could have been doing on the background, but it does take away from the angle of Gunther if he's there, I think a little bit, because everybody, knows. But if you don't have a match for CM Punk, he shouldn't be there to me, unless you have a.
Well, I would say not true, not true, because the reason why I say that is because if you do the same thing that you just did with Sammy, you can do the same thing with CM Punk. Realistically,
No, CM Punk's too big. You can do that with Sammy. You can't. To me, I don't.
why should CM Punk
Because
just
you
CM
know
Punk was
why?
just involved in that though?
No, but you don't want to do it with CM Punk because clearly that's a money match. CM Punk Cody is a money match. You know that they're gonna wait for a SummerSlam or WrestleMania to do that match. Don't just throw him in as a best referee now and then they're setting up a triple threat, at Night of Champions. So then you're gonna force him into the triple threat at Night of Champions. They have a bigger plan for this, you know.
Well, okay, so this is my point. The bigger plan for this means that we are seeing through Cody's winning.
Well,
So my thing, so Cody's winning because if the money match is CM Punk and
we
Cody,
don't know
then therefore,
when he's winning. He could win it tomorrow, but we don't know when. We don't know when. They could be doing the Gunther rematch at SummerSlam. I don't know. It could be CM Punk and Cody at WrestleMania next year. They might be thinking that way. So that's for me and you who are savvy wrestling fans. That's the intrigue of like maybe, but we know majority, not 80% of the way
but
that
I,
Cody 80% Cody win it. That's how we look
but
at it.
see, but my point is, but this goes back to again us being sad. You can't always wait to WrestleMania because then you don't get it at WrestleMania. Where was Braun Breaker? Not at WrestleMania. Where was Seth Rollins several WrestleManias? Not at WrestleMania,
But
motherfucker. Like
that's
you
what they're
can't just
doing.
wait.
That's why, yeah,
But
you're right. You 100% right. But that's how they book. They book it out in the future. That's what they want. Like Paul Heyman was saying in an interview, he's looking out at WrestleMania in LA 2 years from now. I think is it gonna be in LA? I don't know. But New Orleans. I'm not sure which one, but the one after Saudi. He's like trying to figure. He's like, "Well, if I had it my way, I would be booking that right now. And if you're doing it, if you are thinking that way, then yeah, you're not giving us a CM Punk and stuff right now because
Paul can't see into the future for 2 years because you don't know who. 2 years ago, nobody saw Oba being this. We asked for it. We thought it can be. But if they were booking 2 years out, then Oprah should be fucking champion right now because you strike right after Mania because you knew you was gonna be Brock if you're predetermining every fucking thing. So what are we talking about?
you sound like me so much right now,
What
dog.
are we talking about, nigga? What are we talking about? If you can see 2 years out that Oprah's gonna be the man,
No,
if you
no,
can
I don't
see
think that's
two
what he
years
meant. I
out that
think he's just
I
saying that
know,
like, yeah.
but I'm again, Oba's WrestleMania main event talent. So if you don't have him in your mind talking about right now, 2 years from now, that means Oba need to have had a reign as a champion that was dominant already. He needs to be in the Gunther. He needs to have had a reign that was dominant, and so he can be in the Elk so we can plan for him 2 years later. That is what I'm talking about. You got Oba around here milling over motherfucking Brock, nigga. You were supposed to chew that off the bone, throw that out the way, nigga, and tell that nigga Roman he next or some Goldberg shit.
You know what? If I was booking, I would say you're right. But give it some time. Be patient. We'll get it eventually.
Man, with all that, man, we gonna let this nigga get some rest, nigga. It's out the mud, nigga.
It's
This
not the
nigga over here,
mud. It's not the
nigga.
mud. Yo. Maybe I'm just sleep drunk right now and I'm just talking bullshit. But yeah, man, that was a good talk. Good talk. Good talks, man. Listen, we out the mud, guys. Thank y'all for joining us here on Everything Is. We are the podcast where we talk about everything that matters. We are the culture. We are the zeitgeist. We are the zeitgeist. We are the culture. Keep loving your hearts and spirits because Lord knows the world needs it. The world needs you to be a person of love, a person of positivity. Chris, you anything else to say before we get up out of here?
Hey, I want our listening audience to know, if you like a specific piece of what we do, we're going to give it to you on a specific day, starting as early as next week, guys, which is going to be into the new month. So July, we're going to try to have some things for you. We're going to try to be on TikTok live as well coming in July. But next week, we will have designated days for designated topics. So right now, I think we bookmark Monday, Wednesday, Friday for sure as giving you your weekend news, possibly giving you a little bit of politics. I usually things slip by on the weekend when niggas not paying attention, that we gotta give it to you on Monday.
Yeah.
So Monday is probably gonna be our political day of news and give you the weekend kind of topics.
Yeah.
Tuesday's gonna be an open forum, open show, where we'll be probably a little bit of sports, a little bit of hip hop, maybe pop culture. You know what I'm saying, on that day. So if you come specifically for that, that's gonna be your day on Tuesday. Wednesday is gonna be my big dog CT project. Well, it's both our projects, but my nigga loves being I put him on Pablo, nigga. He know that him and Pablo got a lot of things in common, nigga. Nigga, this is Chidi 2K finds out over here, nigga. We're gonna have investigative journalism on Wednesday. You know, deep dives. No kind of like rant, rage, anything like that. It's gonna be something that we workshop in the name, but it's gonna be the receipts, right? The receipt book, whatever we come around, but we're gonna have receipts for that ass, where we're giving you, again, like today, conspiracies that are backed by facts, backed by research. So if you like that type of conversation,
no theory.
Come on. Factual conspiracy, no theory. Nigga, that's gonna have to be the bar, yo. Welcome to Wednesdays, where it's factual conspiracy, no theories.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
Conspiracy, no theory. But then we got my boy over here who loves the conspiracy theory. And yes, we are doing a conspiracy corner every week, starting next week. So that should be, is that Friday or Thursday? We're going to workshop it. You'll know. We're going to post it in the community tab. But yeah, listen, if you like our content, you like what we talk about, if there's something you like more than the others, leave it in the comment section. Like, let us know how you feel about what we said and what we're talking about.
you.
We definitely would like to hear from y'all. We're getting some comments. We're getting some people talking about things. And if you are here with us consistently, please leave a comment and let us know exactly how you feel about the podcast, how we're growing, how we're doing things. If we suck, or if our takes suck, if you love our takes, we would love to hear it.
We take all credit, nigga. Right now we are a small business that take all forms of payment. Okay, if you come in with a stock full of pennies, nigga, we appreciate it.
We take a like, we take a subscribe, we take a bell icon, we take it all, guys. Listen, and we want the smoke. We up,
absolutely,
and we want the smoke. So definitely leave your comments.
Hey man, we thank y'all, man. Like my man said, we about to. Y'all might not get nothing from us tonight. We recorded. We about to, nigga, hit the pillow.
It's been a week, guys. I'll tell you that, bro. You have no idea what this content creation shit is like on the other side until you're doing it as a job day in and day out. Yeah, man, I haven't slept a good night's sleep all week. I've been going off of 2 hours sleep for about 6 days straight. But that's okay, because I'm always going to be here for y'all. And we out, I think.
We're out.
We'll be back next Monday.
Next Monday, absolutely.
Peace out. Deuces.